Hey, what's up everybody? Rock from Smoke Q. Today we're making one of my favorite tailgate dishes, smoked shotgun shells. To get started, I'm placing a 1-pound package of ground sausage into a large mixing bowl. Then I add in 1 pound of simple 80/20 ground beef. To season, I'm using a couple tablespoons of my Boom Boom spice blend, which is similar to a Montreal steak seasoning. With these 3 added, I use my hands to mix up and incorporate everything. But when it comes to this filling, certainly reach for other options like chorizo, venison, and any of your favorite seasonings. The possibilities are only limited by your palate, your imagination, and what your guests want to eat. With everything mixed, I'm ready to begin stuffing and wrapping the shells. So I grabbed a tray to place each wrapped shell on to store in the fridge overnight. Then I begin by grabbing a raw manicotti tube shell and using my hands to stuff the filling inside the entire shell. This process can get tedious and take a while, but slow and steady ensures that none of the shells break as you stuff them. That is why I take small amounts each time when I'm adding my filling. Now, with my shell stuffed from end to end with filling, I grab a slice of regular bacon and begin at one end to wrap the entire shell. This step is very important since any portion of the manicotti shell that remains exposed will not cook when we place these on the smoker. And with a good wrap, I place the finished shell on the tray and turn my attention to the next one. Now as you see, I simply repeat this process until all my filling is used and all my shells are on the tray. In total, this prep took me 22 minutes, and I often ask my daughters to help if I need to speed things up. Now a couple things worth noting. First, I prefer to wrap my shells raw. Another option is to part boil the shells, then cool before stuffing and wrapping. I find this to be a little bit cumbersome, so I just go with the raw option. This means that I need to wrap them with bacon a minimum of 8 hours before I plan to put them on the smoker. But truth be told, I find that they are best served with an overnight rest in the fridge. That's why this is a great option for tailgate dish. Second, I've heard others talk about using a piping bag for the stuffing of the shells. This too ends up being a cumbersome option in my opinion, and honestly, if my 10 and 8-year-olds can hang with me and stuff shells for 15 to 20 minutes, just keep it simple with your hands. So here it is with the last one, and you may notice that this shell is a little bit different. That's because we do a mix of regular and gluten-free shells, so the whole family can take part. But even with the gluten-free option, the process is exactly the same. Just stuff full of filling and make sure to wrap as much of the shell as possible so it can cook all the way. And one more thing that I forgot. You can certainly use any bacon you'd like, but my favorite option is just standard Oscar Mayer bacon. Not center cut, not thick cut. The regular option seems to wrap the entire shell the best in my experience. So go ahead, grab that final strip of bacon and wrap that whole shell tightly. Now I did have to move these to smaller trays to fit in my outdoor kitchen fridge, but I placed them in there overnight and let that fat seep into the shells and begin the softening process that will finish when we're smoking. And here I am the next day. I'm ready to smoke these shotgun shells. For this recipe, I'm rolling on my Traeger Timberline XL at 300 degrees, which is the best temp I've found to slow cook the raw filling, but also get the right texture on the bacon. But before that, I season these with my honey chipotle seasoning to get that perfect mix of sweet and smoky. But when you make yours, feel free to grab your favorite spice blend. I like Meat Church's Honey Hog and Heath Ryle's chipotle seasoning as great other options. With my smoker to temp at 300 degrees, I smoke them for 45 minutes to get that filling cooked along with the bacon. Then, after 45 minutes, I visually inspect the bacon for doneness before I apply a healthy layer of my bourbon barbecue sauce to each shell. I like this sauce as it stays with my sweet theme. As always, grab your favorite sauce or even skip this step altogether and create a dipping option when you serve. But if you do grab some sauce, use a basting brush to evenly coat each shell with your sauce. And once you do, allow it to set by leaving it on the smoker for another 10 to 15 minutes to ensure that the heat applied perfectly sets that delicious sauce. And that's it. These bad boys are still my favorite tailgate dish. You can serve them whole, cut them into pieces. Just make sure you enjoy them with your favorite teammates when you're ready to root on those Wolverines. And if you've made it this far, I can't thank you enough. Please hit that like and subscribe button to stay up to date with my latest backyard creations.